Hey guys, Matt here, your instructor for NETI 105, and I am coming to you today from room 138 on the Warsaw campus. That's where I'm based. And I am your instructor, like I said, for NETI 105, which is Network Fundamentals, and I'm excited to have you along. I want to welcome you to the class, whether you're taking this probably online, maybe face-to-face. I may share this with my face-to-face sections. I'm glad to have you along. I will warn you right from the outset, this is a somewhat challenging course, so especially if you're taking it in an 8-week format. As I record this now, it's summer of 2019. So for those of you taking it either in the summer or as an 8-week course in fall or spring, just keep that in mind. It is a challenging course, but you can do it. I've seen plenty of students succeed in this course, and I know you can too. So I wanted to start in Ivy Learn. So I'm logged into Ivy Learn here, which is Ivy Tech's learning management system, ivylearn.ivytech.edu. And I just wanted to show you something real quick, right? So if you log into Ivy Learn, and I'm going to scroll down to this class, which is in the semester that I'm recording this, is NETI 105-00B, summer 2019. Network Fundamentals. You may see this in the future. The content doesn't change all that often. Cisco will change it every once in a while, but if you're seeing this in the future, everything's still the same. So rest assured, when Cisco changes their content, I'll make a new video. So what you may find in this class is if I click on the modules page, you'll see that there's not a whole lot. There's module 1. Right, and the only thing you have to do in Module 1 is a syllabus confirmation, which you should do during the first week. And if we take a look at the syllabus confirmation, actually it's just 2 questions saying that you've read and understand the syllabus, right? Well, how is that? Why is there no content really in Ivy Learn for this course? Well, that's because, so we're going to say true, even though we haven't read them, we're going to go through them again. We're going to go through them here real quick. So we'll say submit quiz, woohoo! So if I look in the syllabus, that's where you're gonna find the syllabus in here, and that's about it, right? So that's because all of the work that we're gonna do in this course is in Cisco's Networking Academy website. So we're gonna look at that real quickly. Here in just a second. This is my information. This is my dean's information in Fort Wayne. He's the Dean of Technology, Dr. Daryl Kessler. There's some Ivy Tech technical support help desk. If you have Ivy Learn issues, you go to these places. If you need disability support, so accommodations, extra time, that sort of thing, that's the place to go. You'll notice there's no required textbook for this course. Everything that we need is on that Cisco Networking Academy website. Now you can order if you like to have a hard, the actual book, the physical book, you can do that. It's about $65. Just let me know and I'll send you the information, but you don't need it. Everything is contained in that Cisco Networking Academy website that is totally free. So that's kind of nice. We're going to talk about networking, the basics of networking. We'll talk about the OSI and the TCP IP models, how the different layers in those models interact, how to set up a local area network with a router and a switch and some end devices. We'll talk about IP addresses and classless interdomain routing and variable length subnet mask and how to subnet or separate IP networks. So kind of the basics of networking as the name implies. Cisco calls this course Intro to Networking. Ivy Tech calls it Networking Fundamentals, same sort of thing. And the reason we use Cisco's material, just in case you're curious, is Cisco is a major player in the networking space. So Cisco is responsible for, has a market share of about 70% of routers worldwide and about 60 or so % of network switches. So they make the things that make the internet, right? They like to say. They provide like the plumbing for the internet, if you want to think about it like that. So Cisco is a good way to learn about networking. This is the first of 4 courses that leads to the Cisco, what's called the CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate certification, which is a great industry certification to have. This class and the class right after, NETI 115, which is called Routing and Switching. After those 2 classes, you can take Cisco's entry level certification called CCENT, Cisco Certified Entry Network Technician. And so after 2 classes, you can take the CCENT exam. After 4 classes, you can take the CCNA exam. If you're a network infrastructure major, you'll take all 4 of them. If you are, say, cybersecurity or ITSP, IT support, you'll take maybe just the first 2, and then you can take the CCENT exam. Some majors only take, like software development probably only takes the NETI 105. This will be the only networking class that you take. So let's see, other things in here, other college policies, pretty standard stuff, due dates and deadlines. All of the assignments in the course have due dates already, so you know when everything is due. That'll show up on your calendar that we'll look at here in a second. In terms of makeup policy or late assignments, I'm pretty lenient on late assignments. However, you want to stay caught up. This is a very easy class to get behind in, and it's a very difficult class to kind of dig yourself out of once you've got behind. So you want to do your best to keep up. Here's I'm recording this. This is the date for the attendance. So you've got to turn something in, that 5-point syllabus confirmation thing, by June 17th. In this case, if you're watching this in a future semester, this will be in red in the syllabus. It's the attendance drop date. If you don't turn anything in or contact your instructor by this date, you get dropped from the class as a no-show. So make sure you turn something in. Are you required to come to course for this class? Yes, but only one time for the final exam. So we'll talk more about that. It's a proctored final exam that you'll take at your Ivy Tech campus. So, and if you're not at an Ivy Tech campus, then we've got other arrangements. ProctorU is available, or we can set something else up. But only one time you have to come to campus for that proctored exam, if it's an online class. And as I'm recording this, it is. But in the future, if you're watching this and you're in my face-to-face class, then yeah, you have to come to campus. Last day to withdraw. Again, this date will be in red in the syllabus. This is the last day to withdraw in the semester without an academic penalty. So you can see in this case, in summer 2019, it is July 19th. The full refund period, so if you want 100% refund, you took this class and you realize, oh my gosh, this isn't for me, then usually it's the first week of class. So you want to make sure that you withdraw from the class or drop the class within the first week to get 100% refund. Okay, a couple other things here. Ways to get a hold of me are, email is always good. Zoom.us. So Ivy Tech just switched to Zoom as our kind of video conference service. We were using GoToMeeting, but so I can set up a Zoom. In fact, we'll probably do that every week or so. We'll do I'll have a webcast, a live webcast that you can join if you've got questions, and we'll do that via Zoom. I'll send out the link to you guys. You just click on the link to join it. You don't need to have a webcam. You do need to have a microphone of some sort, right? So most people have a microphone. If you're doing it from a laptop, you've got your built-in microphone is totally fine. Or whatever Bluetooth microphone or USB microphone or anything like that. And that's only if you want to ask questions. If you just want to join and listen, then you just need speakers and a computer or your phone. You can do it from your phone. For social media, I'm on Twitter. That's probably the most you'll find me on social media. I'm actually not on there all that often, but instructor_Matt, if you want to follow me on Twitter. I don't tweet all that much, but if it's on a weekend, DMing me on Twitter is probably the fastest way to get a hold of me. So there's that. I'm also working on Microsoft Teams. The college just got Microsoft Teams in the summer of 2019, and hopefully I'll be able to set up a team for a course. Sort of like Discord, only it's a business, more kind of business-oriented type of Discord that's built into Microsoft Office. This is how your grade is calculated. We've got 10% that's in a Packet Tracer 101 that I'll talk about. Chapter exams are 10%. Really not quizzes. Quizzes are optional. We'll talk more about that too. But chapter exams are 10%. The assignments, the Packet Tracers and labs that we're going to do are 20%. The midterm, it's not really a midterm. It's just it's a lab, but it's a lab that is very closely related to the skills exam that we're going to take at the end of the semester. So that's weighted a little more heavily. That's 15% of your grade. Practice exams are 10%. That we'll take those toward the end of the semester right before we do the final exams. And then there are two final exams. There's a skills assessment where you're going to actually be configuring routers and switches, or a router and a switch. And then there is a final exam that's just multiple choice. And then the grading scale is typical. You can see here that the only item here under course summary, this is where all the assignments normally are listed for all your courses. The only thing here is the syllabus confirmation. And again, that's because if you scroll back up here, all of our work is going to be done in Cisco Networking Academy. So I'm going to click on here, and I can open that in a new tab. The URL is just netacad.com. If you want to go there directly, netacad.com. You should have received an email in your Ivy Tech email account, your Gmail account, inviting you to the course. All right, so if you did, just click on that link and it'll take you to the course. If not, I can go over here to log in, and I can click on resend activation email, and it will resend that email invitation if it's lost somewhere in your Gmail. I did create the course several weeks ago, say, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. So those of you who have been signed up for the course that long, it may be further down in your email and you need to find it, but you can resend activation email here. For me, I'm going to go ahead and, it's not saved. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Hopefully, I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm on it. This is room 138 on the Warsaw campus, like I said, where I do most of my face-to-face classes. So yours is going to look a little bit different when you log in. You're going to see like an I'm Learning, and you should have 2 courses here under I'm Learning. You should have one that says Packet Tracer 101, and you should have one that says NETI 105 Summer 2019, or NETI 105 whatever semester you're in if you're watching this in the future. So this is how you can look at your 2 courses. And you'll find, I'm going to open up the Packet Tracer 101. You'll find that these look very similar to an Ivy Learn course. And the reason for it is because Cisco and Ivy Tech both use a company called Canvas. for their as a learning management system. So that's why it looks similar, which is nice. I've got a home page up here. I'm going to click on the student view so I see what you guys see. I've got modules. I've got grades here, just like I would in Ivy Learn. So it looks very familiar, and that's good. What this Packet Tracer 101 is just a quick thing that you'll need to kind of read through during the first week of the course. Packet Tracer is a simulator program, and I've got a different video that I'll post. I'll put a link in the description, and it'll also be an announcement that I post. But a separate video that talks about what Packet Tracer is and how to download it, how to install it on your computer, and how to use it. Basically, it's a simulator program that lets us set up simulated networks and send things from device to device in a simulated network. And it's cool because we can slow it down, sort of like bullet time in the Matrix, right? We can slow things down and look at each individual packet as it's going through the network. So that's kind of cool. So really all you need to do for this Packet Tracer 101, which again is a chunk of your grade, right, is you need to just read through. So read chapter 1, right? This is going to be pretty quick. There's just a couple of different pages. You can choose a nice picturesque, what do we want? Whatever this is, a nice background. And I'm going to just click through the pages here. So this is chapter 1, Intro to Packet Tracer. It's going to explain what Packet Tracer is. So you're going to read through these, watch this video if you want, get an idea of what Packet Tracer is, how to download it. All that information is contained in this Packet Tracer 101 course. And you can see that's it for chapter 1, right? If I keep clicking, I'll go into chapter 2, which explains the user interface. And again, another little video. So you could very easily in one afternoon click through this whole Packet Tracer 101 section. The only thing that you need to do at the end, and we'll return to class. You can see there's a nice navigation here where I can look at any of the chapters in this Packet Tracer 101 course. We're only going to do chapters 1 through 4. 5 through 8 have to do with what's called Internet of Things. Kind of a cool new thing that Packet Tracer supports, but not what we need in this class. So we're just going to do chapters 1 through 4. You can see that you can jump to any part of any of the chapters directly here. And again, I got to that just by clicking on from any page, clicking on the X up here will drop me back to this navigation page. And to go back to the course content, I'm going to click on Return to Class down here. And the only thing you need to do this Packet Tracer 101 is at the end there is a quiz. So Introduction to Packet Tracer Basics quiz. Click on that. For me, it's going to say resume because I actually filmed this video last night and then the recording didn't work out. So I'm doing it again. Say resume quiz. It's about 17 questions, I think. Yep, about 17 questions. And you take that, and I really am not even looking at what your score is. I'm just looking to see that you did it, that you took the quiz, and then you'll get that those points in the NETI 105 course. So this is really just designed to introduce you to Packet Tracer, that simulator program that we're going to use for many of our assignments in NETI 105. And again, it should just take you, maybe an hour. And that's if you watch all of the videos. So it's not meant to take you that long. I do encourage you to download Packet Tracer, and the instructions are in here in this Packet Tracer 101, but if you want to jump right to it, once you're in NetAcad, if you click here in My NetAcad, let's say it's okay to leave, and hover over resources over here. You're not going to have all this instructor resources at the top, but under student resources, right under those couple student resources, there's a link that says download Packet Tracer, and click on that. And the current version that we have is 7.2.1, so that's the version you'll want. And you can download that here. They just came out with a Mac OS version, which is kind of a big deal for them. Previously, they just had Windows and Linux. So if you're a Mac user, there you go. That's cool. There is also a mobile version. I kind of wouldn't recommend it. It's just a kind of a clunky UI. I have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro that I use it on sometimes, and even with a screen that big, it's just kind of hard to to click on the devices and type stuff in. It's just kind of tricky. But hey, if you want to try it, you can do it. So there's a Packet Tracer mobile version that you can get from your app store. So that's how you install Packet Tracer. You will need this for the course. So a lot of the assignments that we're going to do will require Packet Tracer. So you will need this installed on a computer, or you'll need to come to campus and you can use it on a campus computer. Okay, so I'm going to go jump back to the NETI 105 course here. And again, it's going to look similar to your Ivy Learn courses, but we're in Cisco's world. All of these NETI courses, NETI 105 and 115, 205 and 215, we're all going to use Cisco's material for all those courses. So if you're taking some down the road, you'll get used to this. The homepage is just going to show you this right here. It's going to launch courses, the invitation to launch sort of the textbook that we saw in the Packet Tracer 101. All right, so I can click on that and choose a background. And for week 1 here, we're looking at chapter 0, which is basically a Cisco commercial. And so you can read about all of Cisco's great stuff. I can click through the next page just by clicking on the arrows down here at the bottom right. There are some pages that have more than one image that you need to look at. And so they'll have like some numbered images down here. Let's try to find a page that's got one of those. We may need to click for a little bit because this is chapter 0. There's not a whole lot in chapter 0. It just kind of tells you how networking is cool and why it's important to study networking. Right? Cisco Networking Academy, by the way, has been around for about 20 years, just over 20 years. And it's kind of seen as like the gold standard of IT companies that have training programs. So other companies like Microsoft and Salesforce has one, Amazon, AWS has one. Other companies have these training programs now, and they all sort of imitate what Cisco has built with their networking academy. So you can see some of these things are interactive. Like here, I finally got some with some different numbers. So there's an image here and an image 2 and an image 3. And so you want to make sure you click through all those. And you're going to read all this. This is the textbook in effect, right? So you don't want to just click through this stuff. You want to actually read the stuff that's on here. Here's a little animation. So if I'm sitting here and I want to send, I'm Bob and I want to send an email to Alice. Whoops. I can click the play, or there we go. I can just drag this guy and it'll show me this little animation. So that's kind of cool, right? So in some ways, a little bit nicer than a textbook. Again, if you want to jump to any page, click on the X, and you can jump to any chapter. You can see there are 11 chapters in the course. Jump any chapter, any page, or I can return to class, and it'll take me back to the home page. On the modules page, this is where we're going to spend most of our time, just like all your other classes. This is, as I'm recording this is set up as a 16-week class, and we have 16 modules. I'm sorry, as an 8-week class. 8-week class with 16 modules. So we're going to do 2 modules a week. And if you're doing, that's pretty standard. If you're taking this in an 8-week format, plan on doing 2 modules per week. If you're taking it in a 16-week class, then you'll do 1 a week, right? That makes sense. So for my 8-week students in this semester, we're going to do week 1, module 1, and week 1, module 2 this week. So what does that mean? Well, for module 1, I can see there's some things to read through. The introduction to networks, that's the chapter 0 that we kind of click through. There is the first time in the course, student resources, how to set things up, and then the Packet Tracer 101. So remember, all you need to do for Packet Tracer 101 is read through the stuff, install Packet Tracer, ideally, and play around with it, and then take that short 17-question quiz. And that's all you need to do for Module 1. For Module 2, this is where we're going to jump into Chapter 1. So you're going to read through Chapter 1. I have videos for just about every chapter. So in addition to this video, which is kind of just a course intro, and I have a separate video for Packet Tracer and NetLab, which we'll talk about. I do also have videos that I'll post for each chapter. So if you like watching 45-minute-ish videos that sort of explain the things that you're seeing as you click through the textbook, the material, then they're there. If you don't like that and you just want to read it on your own, totally fine too. There are a couple, after you read through the material, there are a few assignments, so Packet Tracers and labs. Right, so let's talk about Packet Tracer. If I click on a Packet Tracer here, and let me actually go back to the student view so that you see here the way it's going to look for you. So we'll go back to the modules page and come back here. So this is a different one than I had before, but that's fine. We'll click on this one actually. So Packet Tracer 2.2.3.4. What does that mean? Well, that's the page where I find this assignment. So this is in chapter 2 and then section 2, 3, 4, right? So if I were navigating in the material where I had that navigation page, I could jump to any page. I would find 2, 2, 3, 4. This would be the where I would find this particular assignment. So there are 2 files for Packet Tracers. There's one that is a PDF file, and if I open that up, it should just be a fillable PDF. So fillable meaning I can type in my answers and save it, and you want to do that because that's how you're going to submit this. I can see here that I've got 2 switches and 2 PCs. And to do this Packet Tracer, I'm gonna follow the directions here, right? I've got most Packet Tracers, especially in the beginning, will tell you exactly what you need to do. I've got places here where I can type in my answers, and then I'm going to save it. And once I'm done, after I've completed it and saved it, I'm going to come back here and submit assignment. And all I need to do, if I submit assignment, I just need to browse, attach that saved PDF that I've filled in the answers, and click submit assignment. The other file, so let me cancel this. The other file is a PKA file, and that is, there's a screw that just dropped out of this thing. It's crazy. The other file is a PKA file, and that is the actual packet tracer file. So if I click on that and open it up, it will open up Packet Tracer on your computer. So obviously you need to have Packet Tracer installed. You'll have done that when you read through the Packet Tracer 101 stuff. And this is what Packet Tracer looks like. They have, this is the old version. I mean, it's still relatively new, but the new version has a slightly different kind of updated user interface, but it's basically the same thing. So here I've got my 2 switches and my 2 PCs, just like I had in my PDF. That, do I still have that PDF? Let's see. Yeah, just like in my PDF here. But Packet Tracer is where I'm going to actually configure these devices, right? So I've also got another window with Packet Tracer that opened up, and these are the instructions, and these are the exact same instructions that we found in the PDF. However, this doesn't have room for you to type your answers in, right? So you need that PDF to type your answers in. But these are the exact same instructions. It's going to tell you, maybe I need to click on a switch and click on the CLI tab. CLI stands for Command Line Interface. And this is where I can type in some commands to configure the switch. I can type in enable and config T, and I can say hostname switch 1, right? S1. There we go. And so I've changed the host name of that device using a few commands. And then I can click close. And the nice thing about Packet Tracer, for most of them, not all Packet Tracers, but most of them, if I go back to this instruction window, I have a box down here called check results. And I can click on check results. And here I see that you did not complete the activity. Please close this window and try again. But if I click on assessment items, it will show me what I did correctly. So I changed the host name, but that's all I did. I didn't do anything else, right? Everything else is a red X. So that gives me an idea of what I need to do to complete this Packet Tracer activity. So I can close this, jump back into Packet Tracer, and do the other things that I need to do. Once I've checked results, it will say here, congratulations, you've completed the activity. And if I click on assessment items, they'll all be green. If you just want to screenshot that and submit that as well, in addition to your PDF, that's totally fine. That makes it a little bit easier for me to grade, but the PDF is all that I really need. And that's it. So that's how the Packet Tracer assignments will work. I will post a video probably in week 2 of the course of me actually doing a Packet Tracer assignment, so you guys can see one from start to finish. But this is how they'll be done. Packet Tracer, again, simulator program that we're going to use for a lot of our assignments. The other, and let me close this, the other type of assignments that we're going to do, so there's another Packet Tracer assignment, are going to be labs. And labs are, if we were in a face-to-face class, we would do these on actual equipment. So back behind me at the back of my classroom here, and in many labs like this one across the state on Ivy Tech campuses, we've got actual Cisco routers and switches and security appliances that we would use to do these labs. Since we don't have that in an online class, what we do is we have a system called NetLab. And it's netlab1.ivtech.edu is the URL. Make sure you put in the 1 there, so netlab1.ivtech.edu. And what this is we've got racks of equipment, actual equipment on the IUPUI campus in Indianapolis in their big data center. And we can, this NDG is Network Development Group. This system allows us to remotely connect into that equipment and manage it remotely, just as if we were next to it. So it is still actual physical equipment, but we can manage it remotely. One of the drawbacks of Packet Tracer, as cool as Packet Tracer is it doesn't support every feature that routers and switches actually have. So it's nice to be able to do this kind of thing on actual physical equipment, even if it is, and we'll go ahead and save it, even if it's not anywhere near us. It's in Indianapolis. If you're in Indianapolis taking this course, then it's near you, but it's in a locked data center in the middle of IUPUI. So the first thing it's going to have you do is it will say Java's not detected on your computer. We'll say continue. You got to have Java. And so we'll say continue. And it's going to do an access test. I always recommend doing this even if you're just checking the schedule, which we'll look at here in a second. But when I start remote access, I've got to open that Java file. And here it's giving me this user account control or Java update needed. I'll say later. If you want to update Java on your own device, that's fine. I'm going to just say later. Usually that'll get around it. And then click on run. And what it's doing is downloading a little Java application that's going to test connectivity from your computer to the data center where these devices are located. Everything's good in this case. So what I would do then is if I wanted to do this lab, let's say I need to do this lab 2.3.3.4, configuring a switch management address, I'm going to click on scheduler. And my menu looks a little different here. I'm going to say yours is going to look something like this. It's going to show you a list of classes that you're in, probably just this class. The class will say something like GUL-NETI 105- whatever semester it is, right? And then I can click on that class, and then it will show you a list of labs that are available. So in that list of labs, you should see one that says 2.3.3.4. So you click on that. I'm going to click on, this is a different course. This is the CCNA security course. I'm just going to click on one to demonstrate. And then it'll show you the scheduler. And the way the scheduler works is we've got 16 different pods, which doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, these never get filled up. Even during finals week, when everyone's trying to do their skills exam, these never get filled up. So I'm just going to take pod 1. I'll click right here into the red line. The red line is the current time, so click right underneath it. And I'll say, let's say I want this until 2 o'clock. That's an hour and 45 minutes. There's a 4-hour time limit on the lab, so which should be plenty of time to do all these labs. So click OK. And I'll say I'm done. Now it's going to take me back to the NetLab main page, but now I have this little button that says Enter Lab. And so I'm going to enter lab, and it will set up the equipment. It will create some virtual machines for my PCs, and it takes 5 or 10 minutes. So at this point, go grab a drink, do whatever you need to do, come back to your computer, watch some YouTube for a little bit. Love YouTube. And this will be ready in about 5 to 10 minutes. So with the lab, again, the labs are going to be very similar to the way we do packet tracers. Obviously, this time there's only a PDF, which has the instructions, and a room for me to fill in my answers. So this has got instructions, things that I'm going to type into these devices, and a place for me to type in answers to the questions. You're going to save the PDF, and then submit the assignment exactly the way you did with the packet tracer. Once I'm done with the lab, I've saved the PDF with all my answers. I'm going to submit assignment and just attach the PDF. That's all you have to do. It's as easy as that. Again, see I have a little bit longer video that talks about both packet tracer and NetLab and goes through them in a little bit more detail. And again, I'll post another video in week 2 or 3 of the course of me doing a lab start to finish in NetLab, so you can see what it's supposed to look like. You want to get used to NetLab and be comfortable with it, because we're going to take the skills exam, which again is worth 20% of your final grade. We're going to take the skills exam in NetLab, so you want to make sure you're comfortable with it. So after I've read through the chapter, I've maybe watched Matt's fantastic video about chapter 1, I've done my packet tracer and lab assignments, then I've got a quiz and an exam. And the quizzes are always optional, right? The quizzes do not count as part of your final grade. Only the exams do. However, the quizzes are great preparation for the exam, right? So maybe you can take the quizzes as many times as you want. So maybe you take the quiz. If you do really well in the quiz, you're like, okay, I got this. And you go ahead and take the exam. The exams are, let's see, let's look at chapter 1. Oh, and I need to activate those. Interesting. Okay, very good. If you get this message, just let me know and I'll activate those. I thought that had already happened, but we'll take a look. The exams are 25-ish questions, mostly multiple choice. Sometimes single answer, sometimes multiple choice, multiple answer, like check 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 6 options or whatever. And you can take them up to 3 times. So if you take a test and maybe your kid throws up all over your lap in the middle of it, then you can take it again, right? And we keep your we keep your last score. So whatever your last score was for the exam, that's the one that counts. So quizzes are optional. You can take as many times as you want. They don't count toward your grade. Exams do count, and you can take each one up to 3 times. And I'll get all those activated. There will be due dates. You can see the due dates and the point totals here. The due dates, again, as I record this in summer 2019, these are the due dates for my summer class. But there should be due dates for whatever semester you're watching this, and those should show up on your calendar. So you can see here all of the things. If I look at my calendar, these are all of the assignments that are due every Sunday. So due dates in my classes are Sunday nights, just like in most instructors. So all these will show up on your calendar. And then just like in Ivy Learn, if you haven't done this in Ivy Learn, I would definitely do it there too. But if you click on account over here in NetAcad, and if you click on your settings, oh, access denied. It's because I'm in the student view. But click on account and click on your settings, and you can add your cell phone number just like you did in Ivy Learn. And then if you click on notifications, you can get notifications sent to your cell phone every time I post an announcement, or, and I'm going to leave the student view at this point, or anytime an assignment is graded or whatever. So here I can edit my notifications. Let's say announcements, I want a text message. And right now it only has my email address, so I would click on account and go into settings. And this is where you can add other contact types, right? So I can add a cell phone here, and that will then allow you to get text messages anytime I post an announcement. Okay, so I will post weekly announcements that have links to the videos and just kind of a brief description of what we're talking about that week. And those will show up as announcements under the homepage. So I haven't posted any yet as I record this video, but announcements will show up. You'll see them right under the homepage as you log into this class. And grades works just like they do in Ivy Learn. And that is about it for that, I think. So we're already just about a half an hour. I don't want to overload you so much this first week, but I wanted to, there's kind of so much going on with NetAcad and NetLab and Packet Tracer, and wanted to just record a well, not so short video to introduce you to the course. I'm super excited to be here. I've taught this course for about 5-ish years, and I'm also one of Ivy Tech's instructor trainers. So not only do I teach this course to students, but I also train new instructors to teach it. And I think it is a lot of fun. It is, like I said, it is a challenging course, so plan on a few hours a week at least for this course, but it is a lot of fun. So again, if you have questions, the best way to get a hold of me, either my email, mgull@ivytech.edu. That's right here in the syllabus. By the way, the syllabus here is a carbon copy of the one that's in Ivy Learn. So my email, also my Twitter, if you scroll down, instructor_Matt on Twitter if you're on Twitter. And I will try to set up a Microsoft team for this too. Also, like I said, plan on you'll see this in the announcements, but plan on a weekly or maybe bi-weekly live webcast, maybe in the afternoon and maybe in the evening, kind of depends on when you guys have time. But I love doing live webcasts where I can answer questions. I can go over some of the exam questions or one of the labs or packet tracers, and or just come hang out with you guys and we can talk about whatever you guys are doing. All right. I'm not a big gamer. I used to play CSGO and I realized that I sucked at it and I was never gonna get any good. So I stopped playing it and haven't really played anything since. But man, my kid plays Fortnite, so I can talk about Fortnite. I suck at that too. So anyway, that's it. I hope this was helpful. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. If you thought it was garbage and a waste of your time, let me know that too. That's helpful too. But again, best way to get a hold of me is my email address right here, or call me. During the summer months, I'm only in the office 1 day a week, so this will probably go to my voicemail. You just leave me a message. That'll show up in my email, and I get back to you that way too. So happy to, oh, the lights just went out. It means it's time to stop talking. Happy to hang out with you guys. I'm excited for this semester. I hope you are too, and I'll see you again soon in another video, I'm sure. Take care.